Hello, this is Gregory, and you're live on the air.
Hi, Mr. Morgan. Thank you so much for your great show. I hope you have it more often.
Well, thank you, and thanks for calling.
I've been dating a guy for about 3 months. The only problem that we're having right now is money. And we had a few moments of hard feeling about money in the past. We talked about it, and his mentality is like, if we are dating and if we are more or less making the same money, we should be paying for everything 50-50. And my mentality and my background is that a guy should take care of me no matter how much money I make or how much money he makes. He calculates every little thing, and it just makes me uncomfortable. He brought up a point that, he wants to go to vacations with me, and he thinks that we should split up some of the costs.
I got it. You have every right to feel that you would like to be taken care of and cherished, and that money is not going to be an issue. However, expectation, it's like weed killer on roses. When you expect something from somebody you say you love, it kills off love. Expectation is toxic to love.
Yes.
Your expectations are your expectations, and they have nothing to do with your love for this person.
True.
And if you keep expressing your expectations, it will kill the love. It's like for sure toxic. So I think that people ought to keep their expectations to themselves and share what would make them feel better, what would make them happier. If you're a woman, please tell a man how you feel. Tell him what you don't want. If you tell him what you want, that's like giving a man a command. That's like, this is what I want. That's woman talk for do this. I want this means do this, right? So that's like being his mother and telling him what to do. Don't do that. Tell him, I would feel so much better. I would feel so much love. I would so appreciate it if, right? XYZ. Or, I really don't want. You can tell him what you don't want. I really don't want to do this, or I wouldn't feel comfortable doing this. And then an honorable, mature man will naturally want you to feel better and take actions to make you feel better. Now, you have grown up in a different model than him, and apparently you've grown up in a model of abundance and prosperity. Does he have money?
Well, yes.
Okay, so he can afford to take you out.
Yes.
Without hardship. If he has money, and he's just still insisting on this model, he's operating out of a scarcity model. There's not enough resources, there's not enough money, there's not enough, and so I better hoard it or keep it back and not share it too much. That's something that, he could get resolved in one of our workshops, and you would get resolved how to relate to a man so that he feels empowered. He doesn't feel, disempowered, but you communicate clearly in a way that he wants to take care of you rather than telling him, I expect you to take care of me. Because I expect you to take care of me will not work out well, and I would feel so much better if I knew that you wanted to take care of me. Engenders a masculine feeling of I want to protect you and take care of you.
But if I communicate it in that way, and he still is on the mindset that we should both contribute to it financially, then
just say I don't feel comfortable with that. That's not how I grew up, and maybe listen, I don't have any expectations of you. However, this is what would make me feel better, and now when we go out, I feel uncomfortable because even though I could easily afford to take you out, and would gladly do it because it's not a financial issue for me, you somehow don't feel the same way about me, and that makes me feel uncomfortable. I think men should give more than women, and about every fourth or fifth time the woman should say, hey, it's my treat tonight. I think men should, show that they are capable of providing and protecting for a woman, because if it went into the place where you were pregnant and had to take care of a child, 100% of your energy is going to be over there taking care of that kid, and he's going to have to. So if he's not willing to now, when you're just dating and it's just coffee and dessert, it does not bode well for the future. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
thank you so much for your call. Thank you. Hello, this is Gregory. You're live on the air. Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. I hope you're doing well too.
I am.
My question is about my OCD. I went to a psychologist 6 years ago, and he said that I have OCD. He was a psychologist, and he gave me pills. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, my whole life changed. It was like that I became a new person. So
For 2 or 3 weeks, your life changed for the better?
Yes, much more better because I was in a very bad anxiety, stress, OCD, thoughts, a lot of things.
Okay, so when you took the pills, did the reason for your anxiety go away?
Actually, pills did something chemically in my body. I was not responding to those anxieties, but I don't think it's my problem.
No, of course not. It's like the engine light in your car. Most cars have little red lights that go off if there's something wrong with the car to tell you that you should take it to the mechanic. Anxiety is a signal from your subconscious mind that there's something either happening or about to happen that you're not prepared for, and you don't have the wherewithal to deal with it. You don't know how to handle it. It causes an anxious feeling, which is a healthy feeling, to get you moving so that you do something about it, getting ready to deal with this. Fear is a positive thing. It tells you you're not ready. You better get ready. There's what I call natural fear. If you're walking close to the edge of a cliff, it's natural to feel afraid of that. But anxiety is compelling you to take some kind of action to get ready for something. Now, if you just take a pill and you no longer feel the anxiety, there will be a lot of other things that you don't feel either.
I became like a robot. For
That's
example, I don't care about feelings that people do.
You don't feel the same happiness. You don't feel sadness. You don't feel joy. You don't feel certain levels of love and warmth and togetherness, because it's like there's one valve for all the emotions. When that valve is shut down, all the other emotions are shut down too. You can't just isolate one emotion and say, I don't want to feel that one, but I want to feel everything else.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that.
For example, don't get so emotional. Exactly like a robot.
So you said for 3 weeks I felt okay. It changed my life because you didn't feel the anxiety, and then you began to notice that you didn't feel other things too. Are you still taking the medication?
Actually, I continued taking medications for 5 years.
Okay.
Then I stopped with the pills after 5 years, and it was exactly like everything came back again.
All the anxiety came back?
Everything. It was exactly at the same time that 5 years ago. It was exactly the same feeling.
Okay, so where are we going with this? Because I sense that there's a question, but I am not able to hear.
Exactly. I went to the psychiatrist, and the doctor said that no one can be completely okay. Never. And many people have these thoughts, but they don't tell you, like you don't tell anyone.
All right. I think he gave you some good advice there. I happen to agree with him. Nobody's completely okay. Everybody's got some anxiety. Everybody's got difficult feelings.
Right.
Everybody's got something that they have to manage. Part of being an adult, part of being a functional human being in the world is being able to have uncomfortable feelings and still be okay with yourself, still deal with the world. Wanting to escape every uncomfortable feeling, if your life is about being comfortable, then I promise you, you are going to have a very uncomfortable life. Now, if your life is about making a difference for other people, being everything that you could possibly be, mentally, physically, being in your best physical shape, your best mental shape, your best emotional shape, your best financial shape, in other words, being great at being you, if that's what your life is about, then you will have a very uncomfortable life. Either way, life is uncomfortable. So you should just choose whether you want to go out and make a difference with your life and share yourself, and recognizing that, hey, it's uncomfortable. My point is, you're never going to escape some uncomfortable feelings. You've been worried about stuff that's never going to happen.
So how can they bother me?
Well, because you let it. Every time I get in my car, I'm not worried about somebody running into me with a bus. Every time I cross the street, I'm not worried that I'm going to get run over by a car. I just look to see if there's any cars coming.
Yes, I do.
But an OCD, or whatever it is that you want to call yourself, that you've learned to identify with, this has become an identity for you. You relate to this identity. It's almost like a badge of honor. I'm OCD, and you're worried about stuff that's never happening. And if it did happen, there's nothing you can do about it anyhow. Something got repeated again and again that you had absolutely no control over. It's not your fault, and you didn't know when it was going to happen again, and it did. And it threw your system into a state of shock so that your brain would keep functioning, and your heart would keep functioning, and your lungs would keep breathing. It was a biological response, and at that time, all the copper in your system peaked to give your brain extra energy to deal with an emergency situation, and neurosynapses were developed, neural syntax were developed all over your brain and your neurological system, like that, and you found that that helped you survive. And so now every time anything that it remotely resembles that situation comes up, you have that same response over and over and over and over and over and over. And the only way to kill that response up until now has been to take this medication, which deadened the response so that the button doesn't work so good anymore.
Well, I wanted to go to a psychic person that maybe that person can give me some advices regarding to supernatural things. I was thinking, because the psychiatrist said she's not believing these things, but I do believe in that, but I don't know.
Well, let me tell you something.
Exactly.
I believe in things that we can't see too. What we see is a tiny, tiny bit of what's going on around us all the time. I also know from my experience that when I'm grounded in the physical world, meaning I'm fully present, that I'm 1,000 times more powerful than any of that stuff. It can't touch me. I'm too strong because I'm here, and it's not. Whatever spiritual thing that you think that you're seeing and experiencing, you're far more powerful than it is. Way more powerful.
How could it first time bothered me?
It bothers you because you let it. You leave the door open to it. You entertain it, even by talking about it.
Okay.
You talk about it, you worry about it, you think about it, you imagine it, instead of going, back off.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay?
Now I get the point. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Are there entities there that may or may not impinge upon your everyday consciousness? Tell them to back off. You got better things to do. And then do something that gets you grounded in the physical world. That's why things like yoga, dance, martial arts, going to the gym, all of those things are very good for you because they give you a physical presence in the world. You're probably what they would call a sensitive. You're sensitive to things. You feel things that other people don't feel.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel things that other people don't feel too, but what makes me powerful is that I'm very grounded in the physical world. I'm suggesting you do something like hard work. Do something that makes you sweat. Do something that makes your muscles hurt so that you get physically in the world. Do you understand?
Exactly. Put my feet on the ground.
You're not grounded. Yeah, you need to have a strong root like a tree and hangs on, and then when some metaphysical feeling, energy, being, thought form comes around you, it just doesn't stand a chance. There's no opening for that. You decide from your strong physical, psychological, emotional, powerful self-construction, you decide what you will entertain or not. And when you will only entertain, when you will only allow to influence you positive, beautiful, powerful energy, God-like energy, something that is inspiring, something that moves you to tears and makes your heart feel love, when you will only listen to that, then all others will go away and only that will come to you. I had to choose a long time ago that I'm going to only listen to that which is powerful, which is noble, which is honorable, which makes me feel love. I can hardly talk about it without crying because it's so powerful. It deeply moves me. It is my life source itself, and I will only listen to that.
Yes,
and when you will only listen to that, then it will fill you up, and nothing stands a chance.
Yes,
it's like trying to shine a
understand
candle on the sun. You can't touch it, okay?
Okay, yes, I got the point. Thank
Okay.
you very much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks for your call. Thanks for your trust.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a nice day.
You're welcome. Hello, this is Gregory. You're live on the air.
How are you?
Hi.
You coached me about getting a decision about divorce.
What are you thinking? What is your situation? Tell me about it.
We are 10 years that we are married, 7-year-old.
You have a 7-year-old and you've been married for 10 years, yes?
Yeah, I
And
love
now you're
him.
contemplating divorce.
I love him, but he has problems just because he has depression and he gets medication for heart problems, heart diseases. He can't do sex. He doesn't have attraction to
I got it. Do you have a son or a daughter?
son.
And how's his relationship with his father?
He's a good father.
Yeah, so here's a man that's a good father. You said he's depressed
Yeah.
and he has to take medication.
Yes.
And so that affects him sexually so that he's not motivated to have sex. And you think you should divorce him?
I love him. You think it is healthy for me if I stay in this relationship, although there's not any sexual relationship or any emotional relationship?
I understand that you can have a problem with this, but when you marry someone and you have a child, and the child has a relationship with, in your own words, a good father, your life, ma'am, is not about you anymore. Your life is about that child growing up with a father he loves, who's a good father. As a wife, your concern ought to be about how can I help this man, but instead your concern is about how can you help yourself and abandon this man. This man needs some love and compassion and some help, obviously. If he's depressed about something, he needs to get some help, and I don't think that it's medical help. Personally, I'm always against taking medicine unless you're about to die and it's going to keep you alive. But if you don't feel good, then deal with what, especially if it's a psychological issue, then there's something that's at the source of that. And if you were able to diffuse that or be with that in a way that it would empower you, then you wouldn't be depressed anymore. You would just be a powerful person that had a bad experience. But very often people have bad experiences. Maybe they had a whole bunch of bad experiences, one right after the other, and they got traumatized and had horrible things happen to them. And so it's kind of a natural reaction to feel depressed about that, right?
Yes.
You know, we go to a doctor, say, help me, and the doctor says, here, just take these pills and you're going to feel better. But you haven't handled what hurt you in the first place. You see what I'm saying? It's like there's a fire going on in your house, and there's smoke detectors going off, and the fire department comes out and turns off the smoke detectors and goes, there you go, all better now, right? And leaves the house to burn down, because it will. Medicine is nothing more than a temporary fix for something that, you know, you can't handle. You're not supposed to take medicine for your whole life. I'm not saying if he has a heart condition, he shouldn't take heart medicine. I mean...
No, he's taking right now the side effects of those medications.
I'm not a doctor, and I'm not giving you medical advice. I am telling you, however, that if you have a mental or psychological experience that we call depression, and who calls it depression? I'm going to tell you who calls it depression. Medical doctors, so they can sell medicine. Okay, if you ask me, I'd say, okay, let's handle some unfinished business in your past and get it complete so that you can move on. Listen, I've had virtually every symptom that you can read about that they call depression. I've personally had it, and I'm sure you have too. You don't go through life without having some bad experiences and having a negative reaction to it, which is normal. It's normal to have a negative reaction to bad experiences. What's not normal is to let those experiences stop you in your tracks so that you can't move forward. I'll say it's common, but I don't think it's normal. I wouldn't call it handling life in a healthy way. If you twist your ankle, it hurts to walk on it, right? And that's a bad experience. And it hurts for a long time sometimes, right? So I'm not suggesting that you just keep on walking, but on the other hand, it would be even more absurd to walk on crutches for the rest of your life until your legs were so weak that you couldn't walk on them if you had to. You see what I'm saying? What's normal is to heal the sprained ankle, to deal with the whatever happened so that, you know, the negative experience that happened that caused you to get an injury in the first place, and then keep walking. But that's all normal. That's handling life in a normal, healthy fashion and getting stronger from your injuries instead of weaker.
It means, is it healthy for me to be in a relationship that there's no any...
What's healthy is to get your attention off of yourself and onto the people who you said you would love for better or worse. Did you get married?
Yes.
What kind of ceremony did you have? Because most ceremonies include the words that you will love this person and cherish them and honor them and take care of them in the good times and the bad times. Did your marriage ceremony say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine did. That means you're either going to honor that or you're going to throw those words away and go try to find somebody else that has less problems and leave your poor husband and your son to figure out their life, because your life's more important. Take a seminar, get psychological help, do a workshop, insist that your husband go with you. In other words, do something. Here's the description of depression, and I'm going to give you the description of what makes life happy and successful. And I gave you a hint of it in the very beginning of the show. I said you have a feeling, then you have a thought, then you take actions. The actions are the connection between the inside world. Feelings and thoughts are inside. You can't see them. They're the inner world. Words and actions are where you take those thoughts and feelings and you express them out in the world. Some of the things you do that don't have words, and some things have words and not actions, but speaking is an action. You can say and do things in your own life that come from your heart, that come from who you are, that make a difference in another person's life. And I'm sure that that's true for your husband and especially for your son. What you say and what you do is very important to them. And so I'm not suggesting you sit around and get depressed too and lament the fact that you don't have a fulfilling sex life. And I'm not saying that you should not have sex anymore either, but you've got to figure a way to work that out. But how that's going to get resolved is through communication. Heartfelt, authentic communication. My love, I love you so much. It would feel so much better. I would be so much happier as a woman if we could, whatever, right? But by communicating and by giving something of yourself as well. It means digging down inside yourself. And listen, the challenges in life, that's what they're about. They're so that you look inside yourself and pull out what's already there and share it, so that your world becomes better, other people's worlds become better. That's what the word educate means, to pull out knowledge from within. That's what the word education means, educate. So educate yourself and educate your husband and your son and show them how a great, awesome, honorable, wonderful woman takes care of a bad situation. Otherwise, you're going to teach them how a coward runs away when things get bad. And that's what they'll be left with. And they'll be right.
The medication that he gets, the side effect is that the sexual drive is very low.
Impotence. I understand. That's why you should stop taking it.
Yeah, he told me today that you're so young. I suggest that leave me and go and get married again. He told
That's
me.
the depression talking. The normal action for making life move forward is feel, think, act. Feel, think, act. Feel, think, act. That's what makes the wheel go around, okay? That's what makes life move forward. I feel, I think, I act. I feel, I think, I act. Here's depression. Feel, think, feel, think, feel, think, feel, think, feel, think. Do that longer. If I did that for another 30 seconds, you would all go to sleep. Your eyes would start to get heavy. Your heart would get heavy. You would wonder, when can I end this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what depression is. Depression is like, how do I get out of this? All I could do is feel and think. I'm going to tell you how you get out of it. Go do something. Action. Feel, think, act. Remember, feel, think, act. Even if the action doesn't work, just keep acting, keep doing until something hooks, and then you begin to pull yourself up out of the hole. What are you going to do about it? Because I'm going to relate to you as being the more skilled at relationship one. Your husband's depressed. Maybe he's depressed from being around you. Are you a real joy to be around? Help him get back to those places where he needs to be, okay?
So what can I do with when I need, for example?
I understand your question.
What can I do that?
There's lots of. I mean, you don't need me to tell you on national television how to do that. Take care of yourself sexually. Sometimes you might need to take care of yourself sexually. Sometimes you need to take care of somebody else sexually. But in this situation, until you can help him feel like it, I trust that as a woman, you have lots of tools at your disposal for helping a man get interested in sex. Did this help you?
Yeah, it helps me a lot. Thank you.
Let me know how it turns out. Thank you for calling. Thanks for your trust.
A man of character, responsibility, and resourcefulness. Become that man and join us on the journey towards manhood, finding a better person within. Embrace Growth is offering the Honor, Integrity, and Mastery Workshop in Toronto, Yerevan, and Los Angeles. Sign up today at embracegrowth.com and see the transformation in your life. Welcome to the Embrace Growth app. There's a new way to communicate and join in. Create your free account online and sign into the app. Manage your profile on the go and choose between English or Farsi. Register for events and schedule appointments more easily than ever. Stream audio, video, and download books all over Wi-Fi or cellular. Sign up for workshops and seminars right on your phone, and access your audio and video library in the palm of your hand. Take your favorite lessons from Dr. Ozita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan with you. Download it today on the App Store.
در کارگاه‌های آموزشی بانوان به رهبری دکتر آزیتا سایان با دستیابی به اهمیت و ارزش واقعی خود، قدرت زنانگی و آرامش خود را بازیابید محیطی مناسب و هیجان انگیز برای رشد و شکوفایی عشق، ازدواج و خانواده خلق کنید. زنی شاد باشید، قلب مردان را بشناسید و آنها را درک کنید. کارگاه آموزشی بانوان، اروپا، 20 تا 22 آپریل. برای ثبت نام با تخفیف ویژه پاییزی با شماره 310 460 2600 تماس بگیرید.
Hello, this is Gregory. You're live on the air.
Hi,
How are you?
sorry. So I have a boyfriend, and we've been together for about 8 months, and I've also known him from before. We actually dated twice in the past. From the initiation of the relationship, I mentioned to him very clearly that I want to get married, and this is the reason we are going to have a relationship. Recently, he's been a little bit doubtful, and we had another serious conversation about a month ago, and he's like, I don't know if I want to ever get married. I want to be with someone for a lifetime, but I don't know if I do actually want to get married or a piece of paper. So I feel like he's still on the fence.
Okay, so he's not qualified. You told him straight up, I'm dating for marriage. He agreed to that, and now he's reneging on that deal saying, oh, I don't know. The words you said are correct, are accurate. He said, I don't know if I want to be with someone for the rest of my life. Did he say someone or did he say you?
That I want to be with someone for the rest of my life.
When someone is a disconnected word, it's a disassociation. He didn't say, I don't know if I want to be with you for the rest of my life. He said, someone, some unknown one. That's a disassociation. Do you understand? So he stepped back from being related to you and addressed it as if he was relating to any old one that came along called someone. So he disassociated from you and started speaking to you as if it wasn't you anymore, like you're another one. You understand?
Yeah.
So he put a verbal barrier. He said, I don't know if I want to be married to someone for the rest of my life. That means he's not qualified to be married. A person who is qualified to be married is not only looking for someone, they're looking for a specific person. They're dating you, they're interviewing you, they're checking you out to see if you are that one. Do you understand?
Right.
So they've already narrowed it down from everybody to this one, or maybe 2 or 3. It's possible a guy could have 2 or 3 different persons that he's interested in. That's, you could have 2 or 3 guys you're interested in.
Yes, but he's very interested, like we're dating exclusively right now. And
yeah, but he's not dating for marriage and you are.
I am, but I think he's very confused. He doesn't know if he wants to or not.
How old is he?
He asked me to give him some time.
Give him a lot of time. Give him as much time as you want. Say you have as much time as you want. In the meantime, I'm interested in being married. I would like to be married to you, but if you're not sure about it, then you should take all the time you want. I'm going to go ahead and continue dating for marriage. And if I'm available, when you've come to your conclusion as to whether or not you want to marry me, if I'm available, give me a call. But in the meantime, there's not going to be any more calling, texting, staying up all night, sex, kissing, hugging, holding hands. There's not going to be any of that anymore. That's reserved for the guy that I might marry. That's not you. You said you don't know. So when you figure it out, give me a call. If I'm still available, we'll talk about it. You want to pull yourself back and let him see what that feels like, first of all, and deal with that you're not just somebody that will sell out your value. You said from the beginning, I'm dating for marriage. Now, if you keep dating, even though he said, I don't think so, then you've sold out. You've sold out for security. You've sold out for whatever. You've now told him, oh, that thing I said about wanting to be married? That's okay. I'll date you anyhow. Right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Don't do
that. Thank you so much. That's
okay?
a very good answer.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Have a good day.
How do men become ready, or how do men get ready to be married? I don't know if there's anything that prepares you for marriage, because no matter how much you prepare for marriage, it doesn't turn out exactly like that anyhow. So I think the best way to get ready for marriage is just to get married. Men get ready when they're done with their polygamous activity. Men are naturally polygamous, meaning multiple partners. That's just inborn into a man's nature genetically. They feel this need or this compulsion, and if they get married before they have found this part of themselves or expressed them part of themselves, then unless they are already an extremely disciplined person, there will be a tendency to keep looking about at other women and to maybe have a yearning to go outside the marriage to complete that thing. So I don't think men should be married before they've outgrown or at least expressed thoroughly this tendency to want to sleep around. That's how men get ready for marriage, is they become successful at multiple relationships. And once they sort of are satisfied about that part of themselves and they feel confident about that, then they naturally will become ready to find a woman that they would like to share their life with. And they'll start looking for that woman. They'll start interviewing candidates, whether they realize that's what they're doing or not. They will be looking for a woman to share their life with. There's another thing that men need to do before they get married, and that is that they need to be successful. Not just successful with women, but successful in their life so that they have a sufficient amount of resources, whether it's money or property or the potential to make money, but they have to have a sufficient amount of resources to not only be satisfied for themselves, but to generously share that with their wife and whatever children they may have. He needs to have established himself as far as his reputation and as far as his career or job is concerned, so that he feels quite sure that he can support another person. Now, in this day and age, women are perfectly capable of not only supporting themselves, but very often they make more money than men do. While that may be against the natural, by natural I mean inborn genetic pulsion, if you will, or tendency for men to provide and protect women and children. Men have a natural tendency to want to provide and protect women and children, provide for and to protect. I believe that women have a natural tendency to want to feel taken care of, either financially or emotionally, but she needs to feel that the man would devote his time and money and energy to their relationship and take care of her. She needs to feel that he's not going to drop her and go do something else or someone else. That is an important emotional component of a woman feeling loved, is that she feels taken care of. So if a man is not ready to take care of a woman, then no matter what he says, he's not ready. He's not a candidate for marriage. How does he get ready? He becomes successful both in his, nomadic and polygamous urge to conquer new territory by, going with different women, and by satisfying himself that he has more than enough money and time and energy for himself and to share with others, meaning his wife and children and family and whatever else that she might bring along, like in-laws or anything else that she might come up with that he would also feel responsible to take care of. When a man is going on a date with a woman for a long-term committed relationship, for the first couple of dates, what should he be talking about? Should he be asking questions or giving information about himself? How to manage a conversation as a man on a date? I don't think men should necessarily manage the conversation. I think they should cooperate and that they should be forthright and forthcoming. I believe the purpose of dating in the first place is to investigate and sharpen and develop the social skills necessary to be in communication with, manage one's self inside of a larger conversation with the opposite sex. So I realize that's a long sentence. Dating is about sharpening your social skills. It's about learning to talk. If you have a tendency to be clumsy or awkward in that situation, it's about learning to step up and embrace that awkwardness. And sometimes it's as simple as saying, I feel awfully awkward. I don't quite know how to talk to you sometimes, but I really care about you. And I want you to like me. I like you. Let's talk. What's interesting? Sometimes you just have to address the thing that's actually stopping you. It's just simply being authentic and real about the things that could be stopping you. I think when people go on a date for the first time, they're so interested in trying to be cool, to try to look like they've got it all together, like they don't need anything, like, this is no big deal to me. But in fact, they're very nervous about it and they feel strange about it or awkward or upset or any number of things. So should a man be asking questions or Giving information about himself? Both. And you may find that sometimes men don't ask questions, maybe because he feels awkward. Maybe a woman doesn't ask questions. I think you ought to ask as many questions as you want without being what we call an interrogator. Nobody wants to feel like they're being interviewed or interrogated to see if they qualify for the next date. That's like rude. Nobody wants to feel that. And so, no, you shouldn't ask so many questions that it puts the person on defense. You know, finding out what they like, what they are like, observing how they walk, talk, sit, eat, treat the waiter or the waitress or the valet or anybody else that may be serving you. How do people treat those people? You know, those are the things. I say more importantly, especially when it comes to men speak through their actions. Listen more to what they are doing than to what they're saying. You know, they might say whatever they need to say to sort of try to get close to you or to score or to make it with you in some way, or to be successful in some way. But watch what they do. Watch how they act. Watch how they behave. That's going to tell you a lot more, because there are just certain ways that people be that you can't disguise the true nature of them. How can you say that a woman is ready for marriage? A woman is ready for marriage when she is mature enough to learn that it is by honoring herself and loving herself more than she loves any man. And by loving herself, I don't mean it in that self-involved, egotistical, self-absorbed kind of way. I mean it in a way in which she will not sell out her values. She will not sell out her virtue. She will, you know what I mean by sell out? In other words, take the highest price. In other words, she will not move on those things that she considers to be her values and her virtue and her morality and her ethics. She will not compromise on that. She will only open her heart and her body to a man who is wise enough and strong enough to take her deeper into the existence and the meaning of life than she could possibly go on her own. When you will only open your heart to a man of that nature, then and only then can that man appear. That man cannot appear as long as you are opening your heart to people who are not qualified for marriage in the first place. He can't find you because you're busy being available to lesser men. Okay, so a woman gets ready for marriage by deciding for herself that she is only going to open her heart and sleep with men who are a man who is going to be her partner for life. And then she makes up her mind that that's what she's going to do, and then she finds that guy will show up. He can show up only then. Is love something that we need to learn about, or is it just there naturally? Both are true. Yes, love is already there naturally, just as a fish does not know water and a bird does not know the air. Human beings do not know that they are swimming in an ocean of love at all times. Love is always there in every interaction at all the time. It's closer to you than your own shirt. It's closer to you than your skin. It's always been there. It's always available. Prejudice is always there too. We see people as us and them, and love is always there, and we need to learn about it? Yeah, we do need to learn about it. There's different kinds of love. There is parental love. There is the love of a parent towards a child, which is a superior to an inferior. And it is a parental love that is non-sexual. The first level of love that we begin to know and experience is this unconditional love. Now, this is interesting because as a child, that is our first experience of love, and its connectedness, and it has warmth, and it has softness, and it has love and protection. The child sort of grows up expecting that now. I just showed up, and they all love me and take care of me and feed me and stuff, clean up my mess and put up with me. Part of growing up is to realize, no, there's a time in life in which love is not always unconditional. So there's parental love, and then there's what we call filial love, the love of our peers. In other words, it's more the people that are on the same level as us, like friends, brothers and sisters, co-workers. So we're talking about, again, a platonic or non-sexual love amongst equals. Then you get to another level that we call erotic love, which is love that has romantic feelings. That love changes everything. It's no longer safe, you see, because you've opened yourself physically. You've had an intimate connection. You could feel threatened now. As a woman or as a man, you could feel somehow so vulnerable, so connected, and so needing that it uncovers a whole nother level of yours that is on a deep physiological, psychological, emotional, and spiritual level that those non-sexual loves did not have. This is where everybody gets in trouble, right? Because we don't know how to deal with that. So yes, the answer to this question is you need to learn about love. You need to learn what works and doesn't work. Now, I'll speak only briefly about another kind of love which most of us will never experience, but we pretend that we do. And that is agape love. Agape love, universal or unconditional love, where it is a love of humanity for humanity's sake, for the sake of all mankind, for the sake of what it is to be human. It is a love that surpasses all that is wanting and needing and sexual and sensual, and encompasses all of that and embraces it. We come to see ourselves as part of all of it and to embrace all of humanity as an expression of ourselves. In other words, we come to know ourselves in every human being that we meet. We begin to see that we're like them, good or bad, beautiful or horrible. We're like all of them. And we embrace that. And we love it for what it is. That is a level of loving that takes a certain awakening and transformation that most people, frankly, will never have. Most people will live their entire life experiencing those other kinds of love, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. But I want to go back to the erotic love, the love of another that involves sensuality, sexuality, and childbirth, and sharing of resources and protection and longevity into the future that creates a future for not only yourself, but for your family, for your tribe, for the community, and for the world at large. Without long-term committed relationships that involve sexuality and childbirth, there is no future for humanity. Without an orderly progression of those relationships into a long-term future that involves both self-sacrifice but also self-fulfillment, that involves discipline and rigor on the one hand, and complete freedom and full self-expression on the other. It involves sexuality, but it also involves spirituality. And so people can actually learn to love on a level that surpasses just the physical, attraction and the hormonal impulse to have sex with somebody or to merge with somebody emotionally so that, you say we are one together and all of that romantic stuff, which is fine. It's pointing in a direction that is greater than you and your needs and your wants and desires. It's pointing in a direction in which there is a fulfillment, I will say, that touches the heart of all humanity. With just as within each apple seed, there is an entire apple tree with the leaves and the branches and the roots and the apples. Contained in that seed is the potential of all future apples, or an infinite amount of future apples, if you will. So contained in each human being, there is the potential to awaken all of humanity and to touch the lives of everyone. Just like that apple seed will never know what will become of its future, you or I have no idea of all the lives we could possibly touch today and every day. By living your life to its fullest possible potential, you have the potential of touching tens of thousands and millions of lives throughout history for time immemorial, for time to come. If you have a vision that's big enough to change the world, you will naturally encounter obstacles, and some of those obstacles may even come in the form of the people who say they love you, dressed as the perfect man or the perfect woman who wants you for themselves, wants you for their future, wants you for their self-expression. So the question is very simple, but the answer is very deep. Is there something that we need to learn about love? Is it just there naturally? Yes. Is there such a thing that men and women should have the same level of energy to be able to connect and start a relationship? I don't know. The same level of energy is a pretty open to interpretation question. my wife and I have very different levels of energy. Anybody that knows my wife, Dr. Azita Sayan, knows that she's very high energy. She's always going and going. It's almost a joke amongst all of us at Embrace Growth and that know her through the seminars and the workshops. She can go and go and go and go and go and go. And then a little bit of sleep, a little bit of food, and then she's back up. Everybody else is still tired from the last time, but she just somehow finds herself being able to go, 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 go. What probably nobody but me knows is that when she finally does get tired, she shuts down completely, which is actually a very efficient energy system. If I were a mechanic and she was a robot, I know I'm talking about my wife. I didn't mean to diminish that in any way at all, but I mean, if you wanted to engineer someone that would go 100% all the time and then shut down, recharge themselves, and then go 100% all the time and then shut down and recharge themselves, that would be a pretty good design. So I have a great deal of appreciation for her. My energy is different. I have a very sort of deeper kind of quiet energy that is replenished on an ongoing basis. So I have developed a way through martial arts and Qigong and meditation to be replenishing myself as I'm using the energy. I'm also resting and recharging at the same time I'm using my energy, and then if I need to go 100%, I can turn on all batteries and move forward and have a great deal of energy, and then I rest like everybody else, probably for shorter periods of time. I'm more interested in the longevity, in other words, lasting, having my energy last a long period of time instead of being able to do full force at spurts. In spurts and then stop, full force and then stop. That's just my level of energy. And so in answer to this question, is it important for people to have the same level of energy or something like that in order to be able to connect? No. I think what's more important is that you know yourself, and that you know your own energetic needs. Yeah, do you need to be able to rise to meet someone's energy, like in a conversation? If somebody's being humorous, are you able to match that energy with also playfulness and being fun and energetic in that way? If they're being serious, are you able to match that energy so that they don't feel like, they're being serious, but you're joking around? So I think that what you're addressing, at least I'm interpreting what you're addressing when you say the same level of energy, I'm talking about what I call rapport. Rapport means things that are like tend to be things that are like each other tend to like each other. If you're like someone else, then they tend to like you and you tend to like them. That is a way of saying if somebody is being restful and you're being all energetic and loud and everything like that, they may not like you. And you may not like them because you're just on a different level of energy. If somebody is being funny and you're just being serious, can you see that there would be a lack of rapport? A lack of rapport will always cause a break in belonging, a break in communication, and therefore a break in affinity. The affinity being that tendency to like each other. So you want to be able to match someone's energy on the level that they're on. It doesn't mean you have to have the same amount of energy, but resting when resting, dancing when dancing, laughing when laughing. In other words, don't be phony about it, but you're searching for rapport. And inside of rapport, anything is possible. What's the best age to have kids? I think it depends a lot. It's a very open question because the right age for one person would not be the right age for another. But generally speaking, and I can only point to statistically, the marriages that survive the longest, meaning there's no divorce and they last more than 10 or 15 years and they have successful children and so forth, in this age group, between 27 and 34, where both partners have at least some college education. Now, I didn't make that up. I just read it. It was statistics. What are the most successful age groups and educational levels? 27 to 34 works best if the man is at least 2 or 3 years older than the woman. Both partners have at least some college education, some form of higher education. It doesn't have to be college. It could be a trade school. It could be a lot of things, but something that they have applied themselves to for a prolonged period and received recognition for and done so successfully, okay?
The Embrace Growth app is finally here. You start by signing in just as you would online, and from there, you'll see all of your account settings. Once in the app, you'll have access to events and all of Embrace Growth's original content. Registering for workshops and seminars is easier than ever, and tools for managing your profile and options are built right in. Schedule private sessions and connect with the global Embrace Growth community. Download it today on the App Store.
برنامه دنیای عشق با دکتر آزیتا سایان، برنامه‌ای که تمامی سوالهای شما را جواب می‌دهد. ازدواج، عشق، سکس، همجنسگرایی، فرزندان، والدین، خیانت. از یوتیوب لایو استریم، فیسبوک و اینستاگرام لایو. سه شنبه ها و پنج شنبه ها 10 شب به وقت ایران و 10:30 صبح به وقت لس آنجلس. تلفن تماس با استودیو 818 532 6655.
Embrace Growth has a new home online where you can easily register for workshops and events, order from the online store, and be part of the worldwide community of Embrace Growth graduates. You'll be able to see Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan in your favorite seminars. Visit us today at embracegrowth.com. A man of character, responsibility, and resourcefulness. Become that man and join us on the journey towards manhood. Finding a better person within. Embrace Growth is offering the Honor, Integrity, and Mastery workshop in Toronto, Yerevan, and Los Angeles. Sign up today at embracegrowth.com and see the transformation in your life. A haven for the weary soul, a source of inspiration and community, redesigned to bring you meaningful experiences and unforgettable events. We are a worldwide community of vibrant individuals, displayed in the people who are a part of it, from many nations, backgrounds, and beliefs. Through powerful outreach programs, the struggles of everyday life are confronted and conquered, transforming those who participate into the best versions of themselves. One-on-one sessions are available to keep you headed in the right direction, coupled with the best resources to remind you how to live, whether at home or elsewhere. Programs designed for men, providing the building blocks of maturity, commitment, integrity, and leadership, paving the way for productive and fulfilling manhood. Beyond an understanding of masculine leadership is its application in daily life and development into something truly unique. Exclusive training for women, encouraging growth and empowerment through an acceptance of their true identities, redefining interactions, and changing the viewpoint through which life is seen. Embracing the woman within and accessing facets of your personality hidden beneath the surface. Showing our youth the value of integrity and reliability by creating an indwelling desire to succeed with honor, basing the future on a solid foundation of ideals that will guide them through life, leading by example, and showing others how to clearly convey their thoughts in a compelling way, creating a culture of mature leaders who can help others achieve self-confidence and their goals. Real people and real lives are changed for the better. With every event, more are touched and come to an understanding of their place in this world and their community. Embrace Growth is run by a passionate team and led by the diligence and inspiration of Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan, who consistently teach life lessons based on what works, rather than the passing fads of the times.
دستهایم را در باغچه می کارم. سبز خواهم شد. میدانم.
تولدی دیگر، نمایشگاه نقاشی‌های مجده حبیبی به یاد فروغ فرخزاد.
گوشواری به دو گوشم می آویزم از دو گیلاس سرخ همزاد و به ناخنهایم برگ گل کوکب می چسبانم.
شنبه 10 و یکشنبه 11 فوریه 4 تا 8 بعد از ظهر در بلو 7 گالری 3129 پیکو بولوارد در شهر سانتا مونیکا. 818 486 76 19.
در کارگاه‌های آموزشی بانوان به رهبری دکتر آزیتا سایان با دستیابی به اهمیت و ارزش واقعی خود، قدرت زنانگی و آرامش خود را بازیابید. محیطی مناسب و هیجان انگیز برای رشد و شکوفایی عشق، ازدواج و خانواده خلق کنید. زنی شاد باشید، قلب مردان را بشناسید و آنها را درک کنید. کارگاه آموزشی بانوان، اروپا، 20 تا 22 آپریل. برای ثبت نام با تخفیف ویژه پاییزی با شماره 310 460 2600 تماس بگیرید.